Good evening, YouTube. Viewer, do you know what this means? This word right here. This F-U-N. Do you know what that means? Oh, that spells fun? Oh! Viewer. Oh, your intellectual prowess is paralleled by no one. You're the intellectual savior of the community. And for that, I applaud you. You are an A+ viewer. But if you know what this word means, well, let me give you more of a challenge, so to speak. Do you know what this word means? G-A-M-E. Oh! You are the greatest mind since Einstein. One of the greatest intellectual saviors since Mr. Bach back in the day. You are on top of your game, so to speak. Get it? I said the word. But let me ask you the true question, the real question I wanted to ask you. Does this word, fun, have a correlation with this word, game? And for those of you who don't know what fun is or game, and you really need me to explain it, well, I'm going to save you the time of using a Google search, and I'm just going to tell you. Fun. Enjoyment, amusement, or lighthearted pleasure. For example, the children were having fun in the play area. Enjoying themselves, having a good time, fulfilling their little fancies and tickling them too. So, it can also be used as an adjective, something to describe something that is amusing, entertaining, or enjoyable. When you enjoy something and you're having a great time, whether it be beers, friends, family, etc., etc. Now, I know what you're thinking. This guy said beers first. That might tell you something about me that you just didn't need to know. However, let's look at game. Game's definition. A physical or mental activity or contest that has rules that people do for pleasure. Now, let's focus on those last 5 words, please. That people do for, and here's the key word, the kicker, pleasure. That thing that you get, that feeling that you get when you enjoy yourself, you have a good time. Now, I know that this word, fun, and this word, game, have a correlation between each other. Typically when you're playing a game, you're having fun, and you're enjoying yourself, and thus pleasure is being felt in the room. There's a feel of pleasure in the atmosphere and the surroundings that surround you at that point in time when you're playing that game. However, does fun and this word here, game, still have a correlation when I put video in front of this game? Now, the reason why I ask that is because in video games, how many times you've been sitting in a lobby just having a blast, yet somebody comes in there and just starts being a racist or a bigot, or because you beat them, they're sending you messages, they're sending you threats about how they're going to hack you, how your mother's this, how your race and ethnicity means that you're this, how you're not good, how you're a terrible person, and all in all just try to bully you via the internet. Have you noticed that as of late? You could be playing a simple game, a game that's not even meant to be super competitive. You could be playing something like Pac-Man Online, and you could be doing a co-op game. And if you win, congratulations. You won. You beat the game. However, if you lose and, it's your first time playing in the co-op mode, you are a dirty scrub. You obviously need to go back to your TP, you smoking, insert derogatory race here. And honestly, I don't understand why that is. We've seen games that are casual, such as Roblox. That's right. We've seen games like Minecraft, where people get so pissed off, so enraged, and just so fueled and agitated at the simple notion of something that may or may not be annoying to them. Now, many of you may be wondering, why am I making this video and why am I bringing this up? Well, that's because when we played games back in the day, whether it be on the Super Nintendo, where you're playing your Super Metroids, your Super Marios, or on your Sega Genesis, where you're playing your Sonics, your Rise Stars, etc., etc., or when you're on your Dreamcast, playing your Jet Set Radios, your Shenmues, and your Power Stones, whether you're on the PlayStation side of life, where you're watching your Final Fantasies and your Metal Gears, and culminating those into great experiences of their own. Or even when the multiplayer nation started to stand up with the original Halo. Even though you always had that friend who could come over and body you in 2 seconds in the Halo multiplayer, it was still all in all a fun experience to play. Because back then it seemed like gamers really played games for fun. And if you want to talk about the nitty-gritty of the competitive nature, Remember back in arcades when arcades used to be a thing and you had to pay quarters to keep feeding the machine while you got your butt whooped day in and day out by the ace of the machine? You guys know what I'm talking about if you were a hardcore arcade goer. You know what I'm talking about. There was that guy who just beat everyone, yet you still wanted to keep putting in money, putting in quarters, because you knew that somehow you were going to find a way to beat this guy. And sure, you may have been a little agitated, but guess what? You were having fun. You were like, oh, that's cool. You know, you were learning about the game and you were having fun doing it. However, nowadays, it seems like if I'm in a fighting game, people don't want to learn. If I start getting someone in a combo and it takes about 30% of their health, they've rage quit. They've already sent me a message. They're talking about how dirty I am, how much of a garbage human being I am, how I'm a no-life nerd, even though they took the time to message me. But, you know, things of that nature, trying to be derogatory all over. And the reason why this video is coming into existence is because I was playing this game today. That's right, folks. Pokemon X and Pokemon Y. Now, this isn't an online battle experience I'm talking about. I'm talking about we were playing this live at my friend Patrick's house. Now, for those of you who don't know, Patrick and I, we play video games a lot. He's been in some of my Injustice videos, and he's been in one of my Pokemon videos on my other channel. However, when I beat him, and yes, I beat him pretty bad, we said good game, we enjoyed ourselves. However, he had this other friend named Nelson there. I don't really know Nelson, he just seemed like kind of a creeper dude. But regardless, we're playing, and he decides, hey, I want to play you. I'm like, all right. He says, let's do first to 3 wins. Okay. Then it became first to 5. Then it became first to 7. Then he pulled out all of his legendaries, and it became first to 10. I 10-0'd this man. And, you know, maybe it was just me. Maybe I should have, you know, took it easy on him, but I play with Pokemon I like. And if I don't have a lot of Pokemon that I like in competitive breeding position, then I probably won't use them. But, you know, I do play for fun. I do play for enjoyment. When I lose, I don't mind shaking someone's hand. Patrick beat me 5-2 today. Was I mad? No. Was I salty? No. But when I beat this man 10-0, I thought this dude had the diabetesite. I thought this man evolved into mega diabetes right before my eyes. The reason why I say this is because I thought he was going to hit me with a one-hit KO move after the 10th loss. It wasn't guillotine. It wasn't sheer cold. I thought he was going to hit me with type 11 diabetes. The salt was fierce. He was flaking from his beard. I thought it was dandruff. No, apparently it was flakes of salt. I mean, I'm telling you, if this man jumped into your pool would absolutely just shrivel up and all the water would be sucked up because there was too much salt for the solvent known as water to really dilute and get rid of. And you may be wondering, okay, he was mad. Big whoop. Well, you know how much this costs, right? A little over $200, right? 3DS XL. Well, this is exactly what happened. He lost, and he slammed it on the ground. It broke into about 4 pieces, and buttons went everywhere. This dude just annihilated his 3DS. Remember, Patrick has a tile floor. It might be granite, I'm not sure. But the point is, granite, tile, whatever, hardwood versus 3DS is a 10-0 matchup, and the 3DS does not win it. And I'm asking yourself, at any point, if you're playing a video game, I understand it may be challenging, I may understand it may be frustrating, and I understand that sometimes you may want to get over the hill and accomplish and feel accomplished for beating a insurmountable odd or beating a task to a pulp and be like, yeah, take that game or take that opponent, I finally got you. But it gets to a point where if you're playing a video game, especially a video game like Pokemon, it should never get to a point where you're out here trying to break $200 appliances, where you're trying to end friendships and get into fistfights. For example, in recent years, I've seen a couple of streams. My friend Evan was streaming. You may know him. He's got a YouTube channel called Marduk. He was playing this game with one of his friends known as Alex the Fox. This game ruined their friendship. Now I know what you're thinking. How does Sonic Adventure 2 Battle ruin their friendship? Well, they were having a race. Evan won. His friend got pissed off, broke a controller, broke his GameCube, broke the disc, and decided to call it a day. Why, in a game like this, would anyone get mad? Why would they let their emotions run high? And anyone who's seen one of my older channels knows that there's a certain someone who takes this game seriously. Sonic Riders. Yes, another Sonic title. I'm noticing a theme here with people getting salty over Sonic. But regardless, they lost a game of this. And they broke their controller. No, not their regular controller, but one of their modded PS2 controllers. That's right. You know, one of their $70 special jobs that they prided themselves over for having. You know, all the way from the heavens, this controller fell, and it was glistening, and it was shining with the gold buttons, and all you could just covet it. He smashed it on the ground because of loss of the game of Sonic Riders. I've seen friendships end over this game. Not even regular Madden. We're talking about 7-on-7 party-style NFL Street with super moves intact. And you have to ask yourself, it's a video game, right? At what point are you supposed to get mad enough to where you want to fight? End legitimate friendships. Break things. That's not what video games are for. Video games are supposed to be a medium of pleasure. A medium of, a hobby. Something that you like to do. That's what you're supposed to get mad and angry at. And don't get me wrong. I understand there's games out there that are meant to challenge you like Dark Souls. And I understand those games are not going to be easy. And they're not going to be the games that, make everyone just break down on bended knee and say, yes, I'm having the greatest time of my life. But it's about trial and error. It's about learning your ways. And when you buy that product, that's what you expect going in. You know what you're getting yourself into. And that's fine, because it's different strokes for different folks. However, I just need to know that when they're doing that, they're having fun in their own way. But these people are getting emotionally invested to the point where they're crying, being racist, bigots, yelling, bullying, and in some cases crying and ending friendships over games like this. Really? Games like this are causing you to almost end lives and change the way you live life? And like I said, back in the day, in arcades, you could pay 25 cents a pop and get absolutely annihilated by the same guy over and over and over and over and over again, and you are paying for this butt whooping. In this game, you've already paid. You don't have to keep paying. Yet, for some reason, the fun value isn't even the factor that determines if a game is good. And what I mean by this is, we have games out there today, like Call of Duty, which is in a diluted state because they've spammed so many down the poop chute that I don't even know if Activision knows how to make a quality game anymore. However, games like that, they fool many of the gamers to think that they're skilled by giving them some scrubby opponents, making them think that they're high level, and make them think that they're good. Thus, many people still try to play this game because they think that they can, maybe if I just channel a little more of my chi, I can make it to the top of the leaderboards and I can ascend my play. Now, I'm not saying everyone who plays Call of Duty falls under this realm, this spectrum of this facade of being a great player. And I'm not saying that everyone is only playing Call of Duty to be a great player. But it is very evident that when you play a game of Call of Duty and you're just playing for fun and you're not that great, you're just average or even slightly below average, you will still have people yelling at you, screaming at you, swearing at you, like you just killed their cat in front of their son and made him eat the bones because you lost a game and it caused you, or your team rather, to lose. So I'm just asking, does fun in video games, is that what matters anymore? Or is it just, I have to be the very best like no one ever was? Like, what type of stuff are we on right now? Why are people getting so emotionally invested and crying and, being all angry over video games? I understand that sometimes being a sore loser is something that happens, but some of these people really need to get checked out. Because last I checked, when I played any of these games, or when I played any game at all, I'm playing for fun first. I'm playing to enjoy myself. I'm not trying to turn a video game into a job. That's not what I do. That has never been what I do. I understand many people want to go to tournaments and play games, and that's fine. You're playing for tournaments. There's money on the line, and you're trying to win it. That's fine. However, when you're getting absolutely anally butthurt and upset because your little brother beat you at Smash Bros, I have to question your sanity. And matter of fact, maybe I just need to put this hat away and put this hat back on to really show how much this issue makes me grimace. This hat makes my head look obnoxiously big. But with that said, I bid you all farewell.